On the morning of the 14th of July, Maître Tardieu received a letter from Count Kaliowski for the attention of the Marquis. It was written in white ink on black paper, with 3 words inscribed in red at the bottom. Maître Tardieu knew that he must inform the Marquis of the contents immediately. The elderly lawyer looked not unlike a mole, with his thick round spectacles stuck firmly on the end of his nose. He called for his carriage, while Madame Tardieu, terrified by the idea of her husband leaving Paris when the city was in such turmoil, pleaded with him not to go. "Chérie, please," she begged. "Look at what happened yesterday. The people are arming themselves. There will be fighting on the streets. We shall all be killed." She crossed herself. "Stay calm, my dear," said Maître Tardieu. "You are to stay indoors and not set foot outside, my pet." He sat back in his seat as the carriage rumbled through Paris with its curtains drawn. Twice, men with cockades in their hats and brandishing pitchforks stopped the carriage and demanded that Maître Tardieu get out while they searched it for firearms. It was with a great sigh of relief that he finally arrived outside the wall that encircled Paris and set out on the road to the Marquis's new chateau. The journey gave Maître Tardieu time to reflect on the past, and he felt a profound sadness when he thought of the late Marquis. He had lost his adored younger son, Armand. His elder son, mean-spirited and extravagant, had always been a trial to him. Maître Tardieu remembered how appalled the old Marquis had been to see the indifference with which his son greeted the news of his wife's death. Maître Tardieu finally arrived. He was made to wait for an hour and a half, without refreshment, before the Marquis deigned to receive him. Even then he refused to talk business, until he had first shown the lawyer his grounds. The Marquis strolled on, put out that the lawyer seemed so unappreciative of the beauties on offer. "Have you noticed that the flowers match the colours on the bows of my shoes?" To the tired eyes of Maître Tardieu, all looked grey and dead. The Marquis now said that he never discussed business in the afternoon, but was prepared to listen to the lawyer's concerns over supper. While the Marquis was resting, Maître Tardieu took the opportunity to talk to the steward and to examine the household accounts. He was appalled to discover just how much money the Marquis had spent on the garden. Not only had there been the designers, the hothouses, and the rare flowers and shrubs to pay for, but the Marquis had had a network of secret tunnels built under the flower beds, so that the gardeners could crawl down them each morning and discreetly change the flowers to match his outfit. The birdsong that followed his every step came from aviaries strategically hidden behind the greenery. Such folly came at a high price. What shocked Maître Tardieu even more was learning that Sido had been confined to her chamber for the past 7 months. Maybe it was this, and the remembrance of what she had meant to her grandfather, that finally made him decide to throw caution to the winds and to speak his mind, whatever the outcome. At last the lawyer and the Marquis sat down to dine, the Marquis at the head of the long table. The room was ablaze with candles, even though it was still light outside. "Sir," said Maître Tardieu, "as you know, I have come at some considerable inconvenience." "If you have come here to tell me ridiculous tales about disturbances in Paris," the Marquis interrupted, "I am not interested." A candle blew out and a footman came forward to relight it. "No, no, no!" shouted the Marquis, bringing down his bejewelled hand on the table. "How many times must I tell you? Always use a new candle, never relight an old one." In desperation, Maître Tardieu decided to bring his employer up sharp. He took the letter from his waistcoat pocket and handed it to one of the footmen to give it to the Marquis. "What is this?" said the Marquis, waving the letter away. "Do you intend to ruin my digestion?" "It is from Count Kaliowski," Oh, I see. Well, read it to me if you must. Perhaps, sir, it would be better if the letter were read in private. We are in private. Forgive me, but we have in this room a butler and 5 footmen who can hear every word I am about to say. Oh, don't be absurd, man. They're merely there to serve me and have no opinions of their own. They're less important than the furniture, and definitely less valuable. Very well, said Maitre Tadiot. He began to read slowly and carefully, so that the master and servants could hear every word. What does he mean? Said the Marquis. Exactly what he says. He wants his money back with interest, and he wants it before the end of the month. That is ridiculous. Kindly acknowledge the letter and point out that there seems to have been a misunderstanding. Maitre Tadiot had reached the end of his tether. Throwing diplomacy and caution aside, he said, Sir, you are near bankrupt. I have warned you on many occasions, but you have refused to take my advice. Now I fear it is too late. What? You sit at my table and have the impudence to talk to me, so? How dare you? Maitre Tadiot silenced him. There is more, and it is of even more consequence. End of Disc 2.